It's chaos. What happened today? Check it out over there. Yeah, they're here today too. Those ones. Right. It's on now. Yeah, I think you got it. Foundation looks like. Actually, that's something for safety. It looks good. You never know what's going to but anytime the facts that are there looks good. So this, yeah,
The sound is still weird on my end, but
we can hear you just fine.
okay.
Yeah, that's true. We can hear you better. Yeah. It'll go. That's weird.
Well, that's a little better.
Maybe we just need to talk closer to it. Maybe. I'm also going through all these different things and seeing if I can push up volumes. Just, in other words, break it. All right. Should we call the meeting to order
Yes.
at 6:05? And did everybody get a chance to read the minutes that Allison sent out?
Yes. Yes.
I motion to approve the minutes.
Second. Favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting approved. Friends updates. Hi, friends are coming off a highly successful book sale Saturday, in which we made $1,005. We appreciated the help of the Scout volunteers, both at the beginning and at the closing. And Andrew and I, rocky beginning, managed to pack away the discarded books by Monday afternoon. Yeah. So we're looking ahead to the summer, helping with the cardboard boat race, obviously, and other fall programming. It was a lot of fun. It was fun. Very. And there were four in school. Right. Last week. I really thought some of you primarily partly because actually one person who hasn't done it before, and then because it's all hands shit, so that's gonna be it. So we talked about, that night, and we've actually already been preparing for some of that. There are more things I need to do. I think I mentioned that I'll be reaching out for volunteers, federal judges, inspection team. I am looking for 2 judges from the Trustees. It is Tuesday, July 9th. Rain date is Wednesday the 10th. It's early this year.
I can do it if you need.
Okay.
I should be able to do it also.
Okay.
You can't make it. I did it last year, so if you want to do it, go for it. It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
I'm looking at it right now. Too.
All right. Yeah, I mean, because I'm looking for volunteers as well. I'm looking for section something this year from now. Awesome. Great. Schedule. Schedule this next week for July. And of course, going forward, we're going to hold staff meetings every other month. We used to do it. Well, we have been doing it like quarterly. I just feel like it's probably a good idea for us to try to, as much as I could, email and send out information. I think we should try to be meeting every week. And then I did mention to everybody the additional 4 work hours for this next year. So I've asked everybody to take a look at their availability, because obviously you have to be available in order to be able to do the hours. So I mentioned Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in the evenings, and early afternoon on Saturdays. Because it's 4 hours, it's really essentially 80 upstairs and downstairs leading coverage. But we'll figure that out. Facilities. Fairly straightforward stuff. Otis Elevator came in to do the annual elevator inspection. Tested the elevator alarms. Okay. We already were given the inspection certificate rather than 5 months later, which is usually what happens. Let's see. Peter and the BBQ Ludos came over on Memorial Day, as he said that's when you can get everybody together. The Taft library sign out front. It is cleaned. It is painted. The only issue is that the slats that were used and affixed to the sign, the adhesive has started to mold and mildew, or did it over time. And
They would have to come off completely, and then it would need to be cleaned underneath, and maybe need to get new slats. Anyway, that's the next part of it that we're going to have to look at, because everything else looks great. They did a nice repainting job on it, so that looks good. Of course, everybody, most of you see the carriage house is down. There's just the foundation left. I saw them, they had their, what do you call that, parked over here on Monday of this week already. Excavated, yes. And so I did see when they're about halfway through, so I think they came in really early on Wednesday. And then the rest of it was carted away to the dumpsters. So, yeah. We've been talking about for a while. It's now done. And then, of course, the turnaround has also been addressed. Let's see. Budget. Budget for May. $31,382.70 was spent in May. Turns out that's almost 10,000 more than in April. So, net expenses for the month. 17,400 of that was in operations and 13,009 in salaries. After 11 months, 83% of the total budget is in spent, with 83.3% spent in operations and 82.6% paid out in salaries. Well, it's interesting. So one of the things I noticed is that there are two payments received for just the way things fell at the end of the last month, beginning of this. So basically, it was like a double his payment.
I want to say it was a 5-week month in May.
Yeah.
So,
It was a double payment on gas, maybe for internet. So a couple things doubled up. Some of it was just a matter of expenditures and spending more on books. Let's see what else. Custom alarm, you know, the fire alarm test, certain things came due. We spent over 3,000 contracted services for the month. Supplies was over 1,600. Books did very well. Spent 700 books for the month, and programming was 3,000 for the month. So certainly increased spending for this month, and I anticipate this month, June, will be similar based on all the invoices that I've done so far. Let's see. The books expenditures. So 19% of the budget is $62,390, which would need to be spent for FY24. We were given 68 books for the year. So right for that, try a little bit. But my intention is to I think it's a little bit because this is to them. So, that's a larger. Program defense once again was solid. Obviously, the storage times and the storage times are still doing very well. I sent out the document. Here, there's plenty more that she has. We drowned down least 4 or 5 of those this year. There are 3, I think, Ranger Viola over it.
That's the band.
Yeah, she's got, I think, yeah, she's got, yeah, there's nature hikes. And there are some other performance I didn't put on here, but I just thought I'd be brief for the moment.
We did those last year, and we also did the very well.
Oh, yeah.
By both.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like I know some the fire department was like 50. So
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't think I have to go over there.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. So let's see. Project. So collection is being worked on. We finished everything except for young adult and so young adults is being worked on into the case of the district. And we'll do all of the fiction, non-fiction. That's the part time. And of course, that's just getting us ready for next year. Because we just limited space. Just kind of continually as the collection needed. We will probably also lead the juvenile collection. And of course, I mentioned medical languages, again, voice, and so be good to go with that in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, looking forward to this for a while. I just had to happen. So, of course, these have been successful, very good. Seem to be strange. They're always companies. They go as quickly as they go. What we call it. I feel like we've gone before, but since we started doing that, yeah. So this is the only company that will do what needed to after book sale. So, even though there was a little sample, they were supposed to be in the morning, and then for whatever reason, they wound up. I was at the bottom of their delivery for the night because I wasn't North Smithfield or something. I don't know what was on. So we raised and came back, and we were pretty much sitting until like 15 minutes. When he's there, you know. A lot of the process because they didn't talk about boxes. So,
There's always a drop box and everything.
Never had to do that.
We get this like. You're getting out. I'm like, I'm 5 hours later.
I think you can actually take, I don't know what they do in cigars. We are due for a virus upgrade. I spoke with them, it was the systems networking manager at CW Mars. So we will be getting an upgrade on the wireless access points and a 5-year license to cost $72,000. But that would be in the new fiscal year. She said we could go with what we have. Just 1 year license. She said end of life is 2026. I think for wireless system. So, might as well just
License is it volume things, but you have certain out of that, or is it just access there?
not absolutely.
so I don't have to make how the data is accessible to the depending on how you end up rebuilding the web page.
Right.
Existing things in it, right?
Sure.
It may make it easier to just do direct links in through the background. I think that's curious.
We should be ask. Sure.
That would be cool. If you
Yeah. What cloud access entails. Yeah.
maybe I should just be deployed in agreement with what they said.
Okay. Yeah. I don't understand that.
That actually would my question. I will say.
Oh, yes.
Anywhere.
Not where I want it to be. Yeah. So I sent out my suggestions. When they sent the page, it was very rudimentary, very basic. There were a lot of things that weren't there. And so I sent back an email saying these are some things that I'm not seeing. And it was on 5 or 6 different options where the database links are. I did not hear from her again after that. I did say that I would send the site to Tara to take a look at it. She had some things going on, so like she started to take a look at it. She also thought it was very basic. And maybe it's not where it needs to be. But the communication hasn't been great. Part of me is I'm at the stage where I feel like
We need to look at the question. Right? I'm okay with that.
that's
My question is about, are there any mandates or legal requirements to make it accessible, like universal design, or
Yeah, there is.
in terms of leaders and
yeah.
something also that we need to consider? Is that a wider issue with the town? Being compliance wise, I'm just not sure like that we have, because there is a town technology committee, right? Select board.
There is.
So I don't know if you. I'm not even sure hierarchy looks like, but I have that feeling it's that's probably an area that should be explored and integrated.
Yes, so both national and state law, they can plan accessibility. Especially with public site.
And I'm sure they know that over there. They have to, I mean, if they're, they have to know that, know those rules and follow them. But maybe, right, and maybe that goes on our list of projects or we had talked to a lot about earlier on that list.
Maybe in agreement, so they might be consulting a firm to be also that kind of thing. And
They wanted us to do something in consort with the look of their pages. We already had our page, and they got us to be very restrictive.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to allow us to
you need to be
have features that
we
we
need to be action in the different areas that there isn't a lot of understanding of.
So we sent it back and I was
Used to. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys think.
what are you talking about this
That was years ago. I don't know if it's done.
years ago. He was doing
Bill.
affordable housing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's still even.
I haven't seen him, and he's usually around if he's around.
But that may be
Another
a project as a thing, but, and I would think to me that's higher than the other that we discussed.
And I didn't mention anything about that.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It could be useful. No, I don't know. I'm not familiar with what it costs them.
Well, do you put enough to bid?
Right.
If you didn't ask, we'll get there. We'll get there. I don't know. I think I called the website.
No, I just know from designing my online classes, there's certain,
Yeah, absolutely. And
I
I
have to include certain things they have to.
shouldn't just assume that they know that that's what we have. But
I would like to think we should be able to assume that. Well, I mean, if that's your education, right, that's what should be there. It doesn't mean that what you got wasn't already.
Right. Well, and
A lot of that in the background you didn't see.
but they finished school a couple of weeks ago. So.
No, they finished.
Okay.
Officially, yeah, here's nothing.
No, I mean, you know, if I wanted to resume in the fall, that's fine, but I need more from them. Yeah.
Yeah, regular updates or,
Yeah, just say this is what we
here's our second.
I think we move in a different direction.
Okay.
My professional opinion, because we waited
I
a
was
year.
starting to feel that way.
Yeah, no, I mean, you started this before September,
Mhm.
and to be in this position now in June,
Yeah,
it's not really acceptable.
It's kind of a brutal part, but
It kind of
agree. It's not just nice to have window thing, it's something that we absolutely, need to have functioning.
It's disappointing because we were really trying to go with local.
Having this thing between education and I think it's right in line with what we do when it works.
It's odd because I thought that her class was going to address it, but then the class came out of her seat. Like there was one student that was obviously
Dealing with it.
That's all right. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I am. Actually, I've received. I haven't received it yet. Sorry. And so when I tried to another printer to have for wireless printing. It turns out CWMars kind of has a stranglehold on this a little bit in terms of what we can use in order to do wireless printing because it certainly doesn't work with what I said. We do have an additional printer, which is fine. People can print it off, especially if it's not an issue. But in order to do wireless printing, we have to go through CWMars and get print. PT1 is the platform that they use. It allows patrons to print printers from their own devices, like their iPhone. We do have occasional people that come in like, I have to print this, and they've got an iPhone. Like, no, you have to use our computers, and it kind of throws people off. So I'd like to give off for that. It also allows for paying for printouts online. But I need to find out more information, so I am waiting for additional information from that. I do not have a class on that. In order for us to do that, if we want to do that, we're going to need to go through that.
That's super exciting because you're talking about looking at doing the 5 years on the new plan anyway.
Yeah.
When you reach that for that thing, we're saying, okay, we're trying to do this is our challenge. Oh, yeah. Right.
And they have a package deal with the Christian, I don't know what the other thing was, but it was like a reservation software. But down here, we don't get a lot. I mean, we get 1 or 2 people in the course of the day, maybe a couple, 3, 4.
Can you use the reservation software for the meeting spaces?
Good question.
I mean, if you have something like that, maybe that will help facilitate the other stuff that you've got.
Right, right. Yeah, no, I can ask her definitely. Because I would agree, like the meeting thing, right now, it's just me writing down.
Right,
Here's the data people. So,
So you can streamline that a little bit.
yeah,
Will it help? I mean, if you're getting that in terms of package, could it also be reservations for programming?
yeah,
And wait list for programming, we get rid of the other software?
right. Yeah.
That's fine.
And if you really we get it in really quick, we got extra funds.
do town money
Right.
that we could tag this into.
That's great. No, it's all right. I have no idea, if it.
He's got one on either side.
Reservation.
I should have known. I presented a recommendation. It's my fault.
All right, so I mean, I can ask her, whether or not, I mean, obviously it covers reserving. Computer time. Because it might be like where there's a time.
Like a time login or something.
Login,
Okay,
and then you get like 30 minutes.
Yep.
So larger libraries use it because obviously
Right.
they have people waiting, in order to
Right.
get onto
we don't have that problem.
a. No.
Cause that one's got books stacked.
So I can ask her whether or not it would be effective in
What else does it
reserving.
do? Right, what else does it do? If it's something we have to get the printing, or in addition to,
That's a package. She gave me a
okay.
premium price, it was a package.
okay,
But I'm pretty sure I just get the print and do
okay.
wireless printing. Charged on. I think that can be standalone, it doesn't have to.
But that brings me back to what we
But I'll
talked
ask her.
about last time is if we're gonna charge for the printing, we keep that money. Can we burst with the town? Yeah, right now we're doing that, because that might be, if we're gonna have to pay extra
Right.
for a program that does that,
Right.
we get to keep the money to pay for that program. It's very easy, like, we need the money, it's gonna pay for this,
Right.
Yep.
Talk to the treasurer.
Shouldn't stay here anyway.
Well, I never understood why it didn't. So, I can talk to Jody. Start with Jody.
That's just how public dollars work. I'm not trying to be rude on recording, but the federal government does the same thing, and whether right or wrong.
And fairly, or unfairly, as the case may be, all of it's the paper you're paying for.
Right,
It's
right, the maintenance, the
it's
game,
maintenance, and ink of the
Right.
two. Upstairs and
in
down.
theory, that's supposed to be, that money income is supposed to be paying for those things. So, I think we can justify these, whether they want to be okay with it. And we were not talking lots of money.
No, it isn't a lot in the grand scheme, but, let's see. Okay, all right, so that's the director's report. Anybody have any questions about the director's?
I was gonna say, I don't even know.
So on the budget report, I don't have a lot to add there. 31,000. That's one. There are a couple lines that are a little higher. I didn't anticipate utilities and fuel would still be at 6,500 for the year. I think it was a mild winter, so, however, programming is in the red now. And that the amounts that are left to pay in programming are going to get into these other lines anyway. Books is now down to about 7,000 with invoices paid up through the first part of June here, so we're chipping away at that. We'll get as close as we can. And as I mentioned before with the salaries line, based on how it was put together by a previous administrator, 14 to 15,000 will probably go back to the town. And it's probably going to line up pretty closely to what state aid was paid out for the year.
Okay.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
balances out.
It balances.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
It'll be close. It'll be very close. Anybody have any questions about the, yes?
I do have one. Over the past, say, 5 years.
Yeah.
How many times do you think we've gone in the red for programming?
A lot.
Good.
every year.
Do we need to be asking for more money?
We could, or the other thing we could do is, at some point, shuffle, pull from certain lines, put into programming, because that's kind of what's happening. Sure.
That's what I think you've normally done.
So, and I think that we did try to readjust that this year when I talked to the treasurer. We tried to right size some of these things. But I agree with you. I think it would be helpful to pull from, say, maybe contracted services, perhaps utilities in the local area, because of, you never know. But
Based on the thing that we are keeping, like you're providing more.
right.
And you're doing an excellent job of that. The library staff is doing an excellent job of that. So it gives us that whole setting, hey, we're doing more than all we have been over these years.
So yeah, it could be a combination. It could be moved from some of these lines, but then there may be the desire to request a little bit more. But I would say you're right. Well, for the last 5 years, it has gone in the right way. As far as
That's really awesome.
yeah.
And it lines right up with my fund in our asks going forward. We're asking for more time for salaries. We don't ask it, we don't justify that by saying we're going to open libraries or hours. We want to provide more programming. We want to provide more services. We need additional hours and staff to provide more services. We stop the request for more library. Yes, we absolutely do that, but that's not how we're marketing it. Because that isn't working, hasn't worked in many, many years. Our messaging has to be different. We have to change that messaging. This is the direction we need to go in. That's what, every time I sit down, we address it that way, we're going to get hurt more than if we address it more. We want to be more. Right.
It's pretty easy to prove.
Right. Yeah. You can justify that all day long. Yes, we're going to pay it open more. We're going to get what we want as well, but the message needs to be different.
I would say that the two areas that we typically would go into the write-up. This year's a little bit different because they put the books line a little higher than I would have anticipated. Would be programming certainly. But yeah, absolutely, it's a very good argument. It's on where the money is being pulled from.
Thank you.
Yeah, other questions about matters?
Okay, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Library policy.
Yes, so I did send everybody the circulation policy. Thank you, Lee. You had a corrected copy to all for all the he she's should be gone. There's nothing I think that was nothing. There were some syntax related things. I don't think there was anything in terms of the content that was unusual. The only thing on the only thing that I would mention is, does anybody need a copy of it at all? I changed mobile hotspots to library of things items because it's going to apply to more of the things that we are doing out there. I should also mention, by the way, library of things or unique sort of things that are available. We have iPads which are handheld, play for kids of different ages and their educational programs on with a handheld sort of device. And Wonder Books, Wonder Books have been processed. We'll continue to get them. The digital sort of program is a picture website where you can express a button and flip the page and the audio with it. And these things, which is nice.
We need to ramp up our marketing on these things
Yes,
so that people know that they're here.
absolutely. Because I think people still don't know we have a lot.
Right.
You know,
Right. And it's, I mean, it's too late for this year, but something for next year is get a because they're looking to do internships next year, and they're looking to do 40 or so juniors for 2 or 3 weeks at the end of the year. And then they, this time frame, they do after Memorial Day to the end of school.
Okay.
And you could get somebody in here to do marketing for you. You could get somebody in here to do lots of different things, whatever you want. But students that are interested in marketing is such, you could have somebody to create all
That would
this.
be very helpful. Yeah,
Right, right, and I recognize that. So I was providing it to my deputy, because, you could have something and do marketing. I know, local business had someone come and do that as well.
Okay.
Just this past year. And look, I know that and, that would be here to do that. And they can agree to do other things. Get other.
Well, I know certain things that are a lot savvier than I am.
Oh, they use Canva to make it.
Right.
That's great. For a lot of their projects and such. So
Now,
having great marketing in Canva, easy.
they're available, they're available at the tail end of the year, they're available at the beginning of the year.
I think they're looking at doing it at the tail end of the year, but they're going to start planning for it in November.
Okay.
The planning period starts in November. So
Reach out there. Right around the time. Okay, awesome.
I know that maybe you want, but at least it's something. And I'm sure there's always summer reading marketing or something
Okay.
we could use them for.
There are
Event
plenty,
planning, event planning, I mean,
Yeah.
all kinds of.
there are plenty of things, and that is one of our biggest issues.
Yeah, I mean, you can even get an account schedule out for next year. You know, create them and schedule out for
Yeah.
a certain period of time, so.
Same with recruitment too. But,
Yeah.
you know, that's what that-
That was business. Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
He's not crazy. No, he's not. Yeah.
So he might be one of them. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of regular business. Oh, so.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. This is good.
So sorry.
There was nothing else. I didn't notice anything that we addressed on here. We do all last time.
Making the update.
It's just really a matter of, like I said, changing some wording here and there. And it's good to go.
Have the motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. See, today is the 13th. So, this was the last of the policy, the existing policies. At the next meeting, whenever that might be, I was thinking I'm going to take a look at like bulletin board policies. I'd like to have something in place for that. Does anybody have any thoughts on other policies? Anything that we need to be?
Oh, I have a contract. I will send it to you. The emergency procedures.
Yeah, that would be good. So, okay. Yeah, so Yeah, and so the next time we can start to address some of the. Word as well. Okay, all right. That's that one.
And that moves us on to job description.
Yeah, so did we go over this one last time?
We did.
Yeah, and the copy that I had that I had marked up, the only thing that really changed in there was, it said children's library. We
Yeah.
changed it to children's young adults.
Yeah.
Library. So I did change that, unless there was something else that you saw. Everything is pretty much as it was.
That looks good to me.
I didn't have any issues. Okay.
Okay, you good with it?
No, I had no issues with that.
Do we have a motion on this one?
I motion to approve the library director job description.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome.
So the next thing on our agenda is the garage issue, which I think we've already discussed. It's gone,
It's gone.
so.
Fantastic.
I did have a quick question on that. So there is the foundation. Is there anything that we need to do now that that's just foundation? Is there any sort of safety? Anything that?
Yes.
One of you.
Yes, we do. Because the drop off was greater than the standard, you did have something around it to protect from someone falling down. It can be something at least initially just basic as codes, just to annotate that there is a drop off. But long term wise, something would be smart. And as we chatted about while we were standing over there, getting the process done to remove more of that tree and kind of understand to make sure that it's clear, it's smart access without hurting the wellhead right there.
Right.
I do have but my question would be, isn't that a town responsibility?
It's-
At this point, because it's not anything that we need to be looking into.
Right.
But the town should.
They should, but it would also help remind them of their requirement if one of us gives them just a helpful poke of being like, hey, you know, this foundation is awesome, but we want to make sure folks are safe around it. What do we need to do?
And
What's the next?
I'd like to think they're already thinking in that direction, because I mean, it literally just went down, so I
Right.
hate to poke them now without giving them the opportunity.
Right.
So maybe we readdress it at our next meeting if something hasn't been done. I mean, they haven't, it's still quarantined off, the equipment is still in the driveway, so.
Right.
And then maybe we can chat with Alana about it at,
Yeah.
when she's at our next meeting and just say, you know, if it's not addressed.
Sure. I'm calling John. Him and I are going back and forth on other things anyway, so.
I mean, maybe if you're talking to him, maybe it's worth bringing up just as a check-in. But I also, like I said, I don't want to poke them if it's on the plan, they just haven't got to it yet, you know. Give them
Yeah,
the
I agree.
opportunity.
Okay.
All right. So then the next thing is the rectory meeting, which, I mean,
Before we
oh,
get,
sorry, I know, I should have.
It's not next week, but the week after.
Yeah.
what do we want that space, although it's not our space, it is kind of our space.
Right.
Mm.
What do we want to do with it? Is there anything we want there? We have those nice tables.
I
mean,
was
that
gonna say,
could
does it
be-
make sense to put the picnic tables over
A
there?
couple picnic tables there for folks to read.
Good.
Like, again, we know there's not gonna be like full closeout of what it's gonna look like for a little while.
Right.
But maybe just to keep in the back of our minds.
Right.
Hey, this is
That's
smart space, it's usable space.
Mhm.
Or could that then be additional parking if they had actual like harder structure borders around it?
Mhm.
Got it. Yep.
I don't know.
Just some Jersey barriers, those aren't super expensive. Last time I looked, they were like $50 a piece.
It's quite possible. And even if they do something more permanent where they drive pylons, that they've got all the equipment for it. So it's just from a town expense perspective, it's getting the materials and then the hours to do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, no one is town space, we ourselves can't do something with it. I know that's gonna sound
No, totally.
maybe like a weird question, but.
No, it is public, it's town land, so it's not a weird question at all.
Okay.
Yeah, if we come back and say, hey, we really want to do this, they're not
Yeah.
gonna say no.
Right.
What's
You
the
might
date?
ask how you gonna pay for it. Right.
Yeah, so we asked the staff too, asked her also.
What's the date of the rectory working group meeting?
It is
Is it the 20? It's not next week,
27?
20, no,
27.
not next week, 27.
Okay, I'll make sure. I just wanted to make sure it was on my calendar.
So I don't think there's anything to really talk about with the rectory.
Unless you want to talk about the,
Well, I think
what was that?
we'll do that next.
Got it, okay, sorry.
So is there anything with strategic planning goals we need to talk about?
I just had a couple quick questions, I think. So, just to let you know, I did reach out again to Maureen about the bus stop because I hadn't heard anything.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to hear back on that. I just thought end of the year, I know it's the end of the year, but still, if I can get this in the pipeline and we can get this squared away for when fall rolls around, the beginning of the school year, that would be really great. And I said, it's really just for older students because there's a permission slip system in that. For younger, and we're really just looking at middle and high school and later middle high school, basically. Let's see what else. One of the strategic plan policy, or one of the tasks, is to set a regular review schedule for all policies. So can we talk about when we want to review them again? Like, what's real, what's useful? Is it 5 years? Is it, I don't know. Just kind of.
It sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
It's not so far out, but it's not like we're gonna,
Yeah,
like we just did.
2 years out, it's like, that's. So,
Unless, maybe it's 5 years unless something has changed.
yeah.
Right. If there's been some significant change, then
Yeah, some kind of electronic budget.
Right.
So speed of technology is really like so your internet use protocol has lower access and everything, and that may be smart to have on, primarily every 2 years. But we can always say our schedule, or given schedule is 5 years for review. We reserve the rights to accelerate this based on changes within town policy, state law, or technology, other than this, something.
I think that's perfect.
You see it in a nice music.
Does your accreditation body ever recommend policies to the library?
I haven't had anything. No, I mean, nothing that I know of, like the Massachusetts library system has policies that have not voted.
The template policy.
Yeah.
As.
And they do look was required actually. Like that is fine. I don't know of anything that's like a, you're talking about, which is like, here's the overarching policy for.
Right.
All libraries recommend. They do recommend, but like, nothing that I know of.
Yeah, it's not a routine review in December.
Right, exactly. See, another thing under the strategic plan says replace the existing static sign. I think we're at the point where we kind of put the sign out here. We've kind of gone in another direction. So,
You're gonna get maintenance down to it. So
right.
Right.
Maybe to go get something. I don't know if that's really.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that goes on our list of projects.
That's good. Let's see. Just as a reminder to me, one of the tasks of the program is to add at least one new program in each new area each year. So this year, a couple of staff are interested in starting a criminal club. So basically, and I'll just be there for And so basically, everybody looks at whatever they discuss and then the next time, and they all bring in something that they prepared. Oh, yeah.
Join that.
Library book.
Oh, yeah.
Years ago, she was, my grandfather was in the Navy, and she, with the whole group of the military life. And it was published like it was a native book, like he was big.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we got lost a bunch.
Chris or Monica. All right, you're talking to Monica. Chris and Monica are experience.
Okay.
Cool. They love that. Yes. Yeah, that's what they're trying to figure out. Is like, well, what is it, is it in focus? Is it, a specific cookbook? So I think it's still in that process of like determining how they go. And that's so cool. I think these things more like they haven't heard from other libraries that they. Yes, fine.
The Library of Marion, Mass does this thing where it's either quarterly, where they make a recipe from a book. Someone offers to host. They cook the recipe, the cook bottle comes from the house. You got the house to have it be a bowl.
Okay. I know what they're talking about. This is a good book. They're not doing this every month. They're kind of looking at it as a quarterly thing.
Really cool.
So, yeah, I think this might be rolling out, but I don't know exactly. Monica and Chris are. Anything else? The only thing else I have here is one of the things under technology is create a rolling capital plan for electronic equipment. But I need to find out how that works in this town. I just don't.
I know who our tech person is.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're the ones responsible for maintaining the capital property when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
They should be the ones responsible to do that.
Yeah.
Which would include all town buildings, all town properties, potentially the exclusion of the schools, because you guys probably have your own folks. That would include us.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. But I think that would be important. I mean, what we have now, we have newer CPUs, monitors, keyboards, and that was all age. Is aging. So anyway, just a couple of things I was looking through when I was looking through the strategic plan. Anyway, a couple that we can sort of talk about a little bit.
So one bit on here was our conversation with
Right.
Alana the other day.
Yes.
He approached us and mentioned that we should come up with a list of projects, prioritize our list of projects, and kind of always, what her ultimate suggestion was is that don't wait for the money to be there. Have a project, know what the cost is, and approach the town with it, because there may be money there available to us that we don't know about, and we'll never know about, and we'll never get, and it'll never come to fruition unless we come and say, hey, we really want, here's what it's going to cost, here's kind of the project. But we were, and Alana's got ideas, she is very into solar, and that was the one that she suggested. And in our conversation, I like the idea of solar, but I think we have more pressing issues or more pressing projects that will help us more in the long run than solar will. Solar is going to save the town money, isn't necessarily going to help any of our pain points right away. And again, I love the idea of solar, and but I think we have bigger pain points that, so I guess what I'm proposing is we think about coming up with a list of projects and prioritizing them. So what are the things that, and then going out and maybe getting bids on what that would cost, and then going to the town and saying, hey, we could really use X and see what happens. Have that list. So, maybe one is the website that came up in our conversation today. I suggested in our conversation with Alana, the driveway. I think
parking lot.
parking is a
Expanding
big,
it.
right, expanding parking, because I think that is a big pain point for us right now.
I think it'd be silly not to have them there rectory.
Well, and that was the other one she had, was the feasibility study.
Right.
But, you know, I think we're holding off on that one, so we know whether we're getting the state funds or not.
So she said that there is potentially money that could pay for that study should it not pass the Senate. I would have, I have to believe that that's gonna, we should know that, so I'm surprised that we don't, yeah,
And maybe that's our number one first.
yeah.
What would be number two?
Well, I would say before we get to number 2, do we have other ideas?
Right, that's what I mean. And that's more of what a brainstorming other ideas and then prioritizing those.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree. I think the parking's a big one.
I agree. I think the website's a big one, especially if we're not getting anywhere with this goal.
Right.
I think that's another one to put on the list.
Yeah.
That's probably a small project, but anyway,
Right.
might be able to do this concurrently.
Sure.
Yeah, she didn't necessarily, when we spoke with her, she didn't necessarily say the amount that is available,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Well, and it wasn't officially available, it was the 10.
Potentially,
Sure. So, in other words, it's quite possible someone's underspent in the year. So that there can be some funds available somewhere, which is just great to know. Do we want to put on there an electronic whiteboard? So electronic sign.
Okay,
As we talk about how do we get our information out to people,
Right.
marketing is key, but also people drive by a lot.
Yeah.
So if it's flashing on a board, they make.
and it would be easier to maintain and update an electronic board, so that's gonna save us in staff hours and, you know, there is some state, not a lot, but there's savings virtually there.
Sure.
With something like that. What are you thinking?
It's really been eating at me that we don't have a fire suppression system. The more that we talked about it some months back, and the fact that our building footprint's at such a size that we don't therefore require a laptop.
right,
This safety guy in my brain is in a juxtaposition of like understanding why the law is the way that it is, but also understanding that too. That's way to save life, especially in case of fire, to get water out as fast as possible.
I feel like that's a great one, but I almost think that goes into the feasibility study next door. That's almost, it's a good one down on the list, maybe, but it's a little bit further down only because let's see what we're doing from there. And that pushes us to that level and becomes part of that project.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's 6 things right there.
I mean, one of the things that's come up is a playground. That's an
Right.
easy CPS funds project.
That's
That falls into a totally different bucket,
Actually,
whether it's
well, yeah.
whether it's a playground,
Yeah.
or maybe we look at a pickleball court, or like some, you know, pickleball courts were one of the big things that came up this year. They were saying that we don't have a basketball court,
I don't know.
something like that. I mean, I know, but they were saying something about not having, I don't know, old ones or something, I'm not sure. But do we have the space for such a thing? Do we look at a feasibility study for such a thing? I mean, we have this land back here.
Right.
How much of it can we use? How much do we want to use?
What is that?
We have to be careful with the septic.
Yeah, that's what it's usable, but.
Well, the restrictions on septic's pretty easy. You just gotta make sure you don't drive over it.
Right,
And
so you could put a
do lot
playground.
of stuff over it. Just don't do the heavyweights in small locations. Outdoor recreation. At least that's how I.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because we have a total of 5.5 acres here.
Is that,
I think.
Yeah, I think it's something like that, because it's the only reason I would have, well, I don't, may not be that high, maybe it's 2 with something.
as you go through that, I'm just gonna look at the strategic plan, see if there's anything to talk about.
Are there things we're not doing that we could be doing? Like, are funds like this available for? For marketing?
Well, I was just thinking about outreach. And is that a use of the funds that she's talking about?
I don't think
No, it seems like it was maybe more a physical
Yeah,
sort of,
there it is.
yeah.
That's for big ones. I mean, one of the challenges we run into, we don't have enough space to put people.
What about
We don't have enough space to hold big programs.
storage?
Storage.
Yes.
Okay, I like it.
Mhm.
And eventually, you can build as a carriage house. We can store. Sorry.
You get it. I mean, what about a shed maybe?
I mean, like, and friends would need space.
Right. Maybe it's
Sounds like it's,
some kind of, yeah.
It exists. It's flat.
Right. Maybe we get something built on top of it.
so that might be an even more shit, because I know how challenged we are right now with finding available storage for what we currently have in this building. And not wanting to use areas that we shouldn't use, so.
And that's good. That's the right thing. Right. As far as that is.
Storage. When did she want like,
Was by the end of the calendar year.
I know
But
that's
no
right, that's right,
particular-
that's right. Calendar year.
Yeah, but
Got it.
I'll tell you later.
We kind of briefly. That's actually nice because that means we're not constricted by current budget.
Right. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we can go with an actual.
Yep. Not kiss. Another good acronym. Why? Wow. Something.
From what I understand is we don't want to wait that long to ask have our ask.
Agreed.
We need, you know,
Agreed.
the more people that ask, the faster the money's gonna go.
Right. So yeah, that's eight potential areas.
Yeah, so
Just talk about like,
just, well, there's nothing wrong with saying that, but
Yeah.
just to make sure I've got this correct for the notes, I got solar, website, parking/driveway, feasibility study, light board sign, outdoor recreation, outreach/marketing, not likely, and then storage/shed. The list that I have.
feasibility study.
Yeah.
Sorry, and you said website. parking.
Fire suppression was, yep, that was on there.
Yeah, our impression I put next to feasibility.
Okay.
I realized my hiccup hit my brain.
So
No.
Outdoor recreation storage, yeah,
Yep,
those are the ones I have.
Just like, granted, that's a first blush look at these as options. Does anyone within the group have this to me seems like the number one concern.
The top ones I would look at would be storage,
Mhm.
website, driveway. Those are the top three in my mind.
And if you're including feasibility study.
Right, all right, so in my
Yeah.
brain, I'm not thinking of the
not thinking,
feasibility
okay.
study only because I'm assuming we're getting it from the state. Feasibility study would be first if we don't get it from the
I
state.
agree with you. The ones I would say would be storage, website, parking lot, and that could include expansion.
Right.
Those are the three that I'm currently.
Agreed on that with you guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Standard.
Thanks, kid.
Yeah,
Well, the
it's
other ones are nice. Solar panels are nice and digital signage is nice, but things that are immediate to me, not immediate, but should be addressed sooner or later.
And I feel like the playground is something we could ask for at any time.
Yeah,
And that, falls into a different bucket than this one. or the outdoor recreation.
That's CPA.
Yeah, yeah.
CPA funds we could potentially. That's, that would be great too.
I'm trying internally to focus when I look at things like this, recognizing the challenges the senior center went through in their presentations and not getting the vote on the first go around. And recognizing some of the things that we as a team brought up to them that were hard but still relatively simple questions. Making sure that it's easy for us to justify and say, you know what, everything that we've got listed here is immediately going to go back to support our consumer. Immediately going back to support them, whether it's going to have more books available to have through the rotation. Right. It's just more basic parking for programs. We know if we're full, it's safer.
Mm-hmm.
And then talk about access to everyone. Everyone has access to a phone. So website access is just simple. So I'm really trying to frame each thing so that I'm not diluting or thinking something that's not logical.
Right. On the website, we want it to be mobile ready.
Yes.
And we used to deal with a company that, an app company that I don't think exists anymore. So,
Any of the big companies like Squarespace, yeah, when you track your site,
I was gonna say, I think of that as automatic. It doesn't even, like, if you're,
yeah, and that was my other concern over the just the working site, but I mean, I was only assuming that that would also be a concern that we're ready, but I mean, if that's the case, then in most cases that's what's supposed to happen, right? Because that's what we need.
I feel like that's number one, the website. And then the driveway would be number two. For safety, so the driveway would be a safety thing. The website's accessibility. Like the website we have now is so antiquated
It
and
is.
so hard, not hard to use because it's not visually appealing and it isn't laid out really well. And I feel like getting that updated, because I mean, I've been talking about that for 3 years.
I know, shouldn't be too long. I know there are a couple of things that like Tara would like to see still on the site, like, scrolling banners and that sort of thing. But I think you can get
Those
that.
things are all doable.
These are things that can
They're all
happen.
doable, 100% doable.
But can't be like pulling teeth that this was.
So I feel like if we're paying somebody, I think you're gonna get better service. So
Yeah,
maybe what we need to do is find a couple of companies and ask for some bids on redoing it.
okay.
And have them do it on a platform that allows us to do the updates to it later, so that you and Tara have the ability, or whoever, can go in and update it
On the back.
once it's designed and done.
Right. That'd be great.
What are you thinking?
I recommend that we set aside time, maybe next week or 2 weeks, to really ensure we build out a list of requirements. So from a programmer side, they like having a list of requirements, and then it allows them to go figure out what they can use to meet the requirements. And listening now, I don't know that we have ideas of what we want to see, but I don't know if we've got that in a codified list.
Right.
And I think Terry needs to be involved.
Yeah, I think that would be,
I think a couple
that would really be helpful.
smart on that.
Yep.
And I'm happy to help facilitate that.
Okay.
We can set it up.
Do you want me to reach out to you, start a conversation, or how do you?
Well, all right, before we go there.
Sorry, okay, sorry.
No. Does everybody agree that's where we want to start? I mean, I made that recommendation, but I don't know if everybody is on the same page. I want to make sure that everybody feels that that's the right place to start. Again, maybe we need to do it either way. I don't know. Just
Sure.
Is there something on here that speaks to somebody as being a higher priority?
That's a great question, because I answer that with, it depends on the dollar amount. If we know we're gonna have access to $30,000, I say we do driveway. If we know we only have access to $5,000, I say we do website. No, we're in the middle, I think we have to pay.
Maybe we want to make this for both.
Yeah. Yeah.
What they allow us to do. I think they're both high priorities, and I think they compete very nicely against each other as high priorities. I got the impression, again, there was no dollar amount ever stated,
Right.
but I got the impression that we were in the 20s to 30 range. Solar would have been that much,
Right.
easily.
I'm sure.
And that was what she was pitching. Again, she never said dollar amounts, but for whatever reason, I have a low six-figure number in mind as availability, potentially.
Also, because talking about the, potentially for the feasibility study, and she knew we were trying to get the money from the state.
25 for that.
So I
Sure.
kind of thought the same.
So I'm thinking, so that was one statement. The second half of that statement, which may fall right in line with the other side of that, second half of that statement was, if that particular money wasn't available, maybe there would be money in fall for when the budget comes up for free cash. So if we get both, maybe one hits one side and one hits the other, because the smaller amount is definitely more likely to be approved during the fall side. And I'm assuming website, in my mind, I have 5-ish for a website. Could be wrong. But that's, in my mind, it's somewhere in that ballpark, 5, 6, maybe for a website. You're right, driveway's probably gonna be closer to 25 to 35, right? But maybe we can get this. Oh,
Sorry. Maniacal James just clicked in. You know, we can get better support for the parking lot and the driveway. We can ensure that it's solar capable. So when they dig it out, they say, here's where you need to install your IEs to get elevated solar over your permanent spots.
okay.
So it's two birds with one kind of idea. Not saying executed, not saying install, just
Right.
capable.
Capable.
So they can spec it out. So that here's,
Right. We don't even need that for the roof. It's so great.
True. That's true. My brain was the REI.
Yes. Yes. Well, so that's all of this stuff. The schools are doing well with that. So,
But to answer your question that you asked, because I diverted us again, I'm sorry, I agree in my brain, those three, being website, parking, and storage and shed are the top three.
Store, sizable.
10 to 20K, depending on what you're looking for. And that, I'm actually afterwards, that's gonna pop out just so I can measure it in my head. Because actually the aluminum company that's right across from the senior center also now has sheds.
yeah, because I was thinking you might be able to, we may even have money in relocation fund for
Yeah,
that.
pretty bad.
Right.
I think that's to become electrical, which town folks can do, and then you can need water and wells ironically right there. So that won't be cheap, but it's not as hard.
You can always get that added in later. It doesn't have to be done at the same exact time.
Yep.
Jamie doesn't get it.
Actually, I think it's much.
All right, so back to we should probably go out and get a couple of bids for driveway.
Yeah.
And I'd almost say say to them that we need to expand the driveway where we're thinking is expanding it up front, right?
Yeah,
And let them come up with the design. You tell me how many extra spots you can get up here.
Yeah.
This is what's available to you. I mean, I wouldn't touch back here at all, and I highly doubt we're gonna expand that crazy anyway. We hadn't been speaking about going forward with that building ever.
no,
Yeah.
So,
Especially when money was the crunch, it was just using footprint.
correct. So maybe we get a couple bits for that, and then start sitting down to sit up on the website. What's our list? Because once you have a list, then you can walk to get a couple of programmers to give you a quote on that too. I mean, that one's probably the one we have to do. If we're gonna try to get for the fall, we're gonna need that number and that quote quicker for the website. Yes, I still think we need to do the driveway one, but I think we need to get that list of requirements for the website ASAP so that we can get it to a couple of programmers ASAP, and then we give them a couple of weeks to get their quote back, assuming it's gonna take that long. I don't think it seems to. And have it, you know,
Right.
because we're gonna need that for when do they do the town meet, the budget meeting in the fall? When is that? Is that September?
November.
No, okay, so we got a little more time than I was thinking.
Anybody have any thoughts on any companies currently?
Yeah, it's probably, really, yeah, I was, yeah, let's, that's actually pretty locally, so for driveway and stuff, there's 4 or 5 different local companies, and, you know, looking at 15 mile radius
Okay.
for the shed, that's actually, that's silly as it is, easy, it's there in a couple of
Right, right.
For the websites, there's a couple local and a couple big. I haven't-
Oh, okay. All right. That's awesome. You need to, do I need?
Next.
Okay. Awesome. That's awesome.
I got it.
All right, sounds good. And then as far as this meeting, like, if we wanted to talk about website, build out a list, do we want to try to do that the same night as the directory meeting, or is that too much?
I think that would be too much for that. I think.
No, I mean, like, it could be like, sure, after, it doesn't matter.
Or,
Let's get it to Tara first.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Just with what she's got going on, let's make sure she's available, because the two.
No, I mean, it needs to have her input because she works on the back end on certain things and I
Right.
do as well, so.
Yes.
Okay, all right, yeah. Cool.
Great.
Thanks.
right, anything
business.
else? Should we talk about a meeting time for next month? Or do we want to skip July and go to August? We usually skip July.
I can't remember if it was July or August,
I think it's usually July. I could be wrong.
however you want to do it.
Cardboard boat race, if you're
Right.
keeping your schedule.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually we skip July.
Let's July.
Go to August.
And there'll be things, you know, happening in between anyway, so.
Right.
No, we're just gonna sit and stop. Everything just happens.
So that puts us, the second Thursday would be August 8th.
Uh-oh. I put the footnotes book club that day, that's at 7. But I could be at
Let's make it a little earlier.
5:30 or 5.
Does that work? Are you? Yeah, okay. Okay, you do 5:30?
Yeah, I should be able to do 5:30.
5:30, 8.
Awesome.
Right.
It's about it, I think, I think we.
I think so. All right, so,
Is that a motion to adjourn?
I second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
All adjourned. Let me stop recording.
Good night.
Good night.
Good back, guy.
Take care.